Hi, my name is Tim Massengale, and welcome to this month's Church Growth Minute. The topic I'd like to talk about this month is the utilization of a church promotions or public relations department. I'd like to encourage all churches to strongly consider establishing a promotions or public relations department within your church so that the various events and activities that you have can be properly promoted in a professional quality way. So there's several things that should be considered within the context of this department, and one would be special event promotion. We need to understand that the most successful evangelism method you have is attracting visitors to your church. In fact, 100% of all your new converts will come from your visitors. Therefore, every church event, everything you do within the church that would have a means or ability to attract people, you need to promote it effectively and in a professional way. So this includes the development and design of church flyers and your church bulletin boards, your church website, your utilization of social media, advertising that you might choose to do, your church bulletin that you pass out on Sunday morning, the development of your PowerPoint announcements, posters that would go up, banners, and I could just go on and on the various things that come under the umbrella of a church promotional department. So it's getting the word out. That has to be the priority within the promotions public relations department. Being able to delegate this is essential in order for it to be done consistently and in a quality way. The second thing that's critical for your promotions public relations department to handle is the church website. And so research conclusively shows that almost 80% of all the guests that visit your church will visit your church website before they come to your church. So therefore, your church website needs to be kept up to date. It needs to have fresh content. It needs to be complete to where everything they need to know on how to find your church and what they should expect when they come should be provided within your church website. It would be very harmful to your image if your website is not updated and if it looks old and outdated. So make a priority your church website, and this is something that can and should be handled by the promotions public relations department. The third thing that you want to put under the umbrella of this department would be social media. Churches that fail to utilize social media today, like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, even YouTube and Pinterest, and just on and on. There are literally dozens of various means by which you can get the word out, and you should utilize all of them. And so there's others that are being developed all the time. Someone to stay abreast with these various different public relations, social media tools is very, very important. It takes time to develop quality content for them. And so utilizing these tools should be something that promotions public relations does. And so assembling a team of volunteers and working with them, coordinating them to a unified message should be a priority in every single church. The third is the area of advertising. I encourage churches to try various forms of advertising to see what works best for your area. Now understand, advertising is expensive, and so a church needs to very carefully allocate their financial resources in order to get the best return on their investment. But if your community is to know that you're there and that you want them to come to your various events and activities, then you should be willing to invest in whatever means that you can afford. And so this would include things like doing mass mail-outs, considering the renting of billboards. Google ads can even be considered, and so flyers, business cards, and just on and on. I encourage you to try a different form of advertising each year, and so you can find success in various means and forms of advertising that might surprise you. And so try something different and reach outside of the box, and perhaps you'll be shocked at the return that you'll get. The next area of public promotions relations should be graphic design. And so programs such as Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign and so on, these are very complex programs and they are very difficult to learn. So you need to develop yourself a graphics team so that your image can be quality. So they're going to develop items such as logos and your church business cards and your stationery and your flyer designs, and all of these require understanding and utilization of these graphic programs. In fact, just about every single aspect, from your website to your social media to your various different advertising tools, all of them require the utilization of graphics. And so today it's almost an essential thing to develop a graphics ministry within the local church. The next area to consider under this department would be promotional releases. So what your church is doing or will do in the future is potentially newsworthy. And so you should strongly consider contacting newspapers, radio stations, TV stations, and other news outlets, and let them know what events you have coming up. And if you present it properly and in the right way, you can oftentimes get some tremendous free advertising and promotion for your church that you would never get otherwise. And so you've got to package it properly, and you got to utilize photos and videos. But news outlets are always looking for quality content. They're looking for something new, unusual, unique, and you can provide them with just that sort of content. Again, you just might be surprised how often and how much you can get on the local news outlets. So a church need not be lacking in these areas. And so I encourage you to start small, start simple, and focus on perhaps one of these areas, and then slowly over time begin to expand and enlarge your promotions public relations department until you have a fully functioning ministry that can help you evangelize your community. Church promotions, church public relations. It should be a priority of every church. The pastor is just too busy to be doing all of this himself. And when you look at the expense of hiring it done professionally, most of our churches cannot afford it. So start now, start simple, and let it slowly grow. And in a few years, you'll be surprised at the tremendous impact that a good quality promotions department can have upon your mission to spread the gospel to your city. Thank you so much for being a part of this month's Church Growth Minute. God bless.